to another amazing day at fmtraining.tv, where we talk about the fantastic and wonderful FileMaker and now Claris platform. My name is Margaret. I will be your broadcast engineer for today. I am here with the wonderful, if I can, Nick Hunter. So we have Nick here today with us, which is awesome. Nick is a really fantastic FileMaker developer. He's one of the best, I think, in the world. He's really, really well known for his UI UX stuff, but he also covers a lot of other interesting and complicated subjects. He's very good at twisting FileMaker to the furthest extent to get really cool things to happen. So we are currently in the process of doing a mini series with him right now called Relationships, everything you need about relationships. So we are on day 3. I just saw a question. YouTube is suddenly very active today. Hello, YouTube. Good to see all you guys popping in. Philip Benjamin, I do see your question. Is there a way to access day 1 and day 2? For people who are new to this channel, we record all of these and they are edited. However, editing does take a little bit of time because we have to go through and cut anything unsavory or like technical difficulties or anything like that. So day 1 and day 2 are currently being edited and they will probably be available by next week, I would guess. If not next week, then definitely the week after. So you can go to our YouTube channel to find it. Or our video player to find it. We update those both pretty regular. YouTube channel gets updated every time there's a new video, and then our video player, which is a download, gets updated fairly regularly. So you can use those to watch our past videos. Now, for our schedule, we have Monday is going to be an open Q&A on MBS. If you have questions about what the Monkey Bread plugin can do for you, how to use it, etc., please come in and ask those. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday are going to be FileMaker relationships. All you need to know. We're going to be doing day 4, day 5, and day 6 this series, and then Friday, Merry Christmas. So we are going to be taking a week and 2 days off. So from the 23rd to the 2nd of January, there will be no live streams. We'll be enjoying Christmas and also New Year's. So letting you all know that. If you'd like to support the channel, we'd greatly appreciate it. We have the FM Training Annual Subscription Bundle. It is 100 plus hours of really high energy video content. If you're like, these streams are great, but I really need some more specific training about really specific subjects, please pick this up. We talk about everything under the sun, pretty much most aspects of pro, server, cloud, all that jazz, we talk about it. Nick's a presenter in it, Richard's a presenter, Calvin, Jacob, a lot of your favorites are presenters. If you've bought it already, thank you. We greatly appreciate it. Cool. Welcome, everybody. We're glad to have you. And now that I've done with my my welcoming spiel, Nick, what are we doing today?
Hello, hello everybody. So yeah, we have a lot of people around the world. So I'm receiving a lot of message from many people. So so buongiorno, hola, buenos dias, bonjour, hello, so, calimera. That's it. That's my language. So
a lot more.
So yeah, we have. Yeah, we have a lot of you. One day we should do some webinar in many language like this. Could be fun. No. So thank you for the introduction, Marge, as usual, and thank you everybody for joining. And so we're going to continue this series of relationships. So the last 2 days I was quite off topic a little bit the general topic of this webinar, because I wanted to answer the question that I'm receiving about multi-value, predicates, the name and stuff like that. So that has been done the last 2 days. So now we're back on track, right? And we're going to talk about how to organize, how to use those relationships, how to use them, right? Not more about how they work, but how we use them, okay? So, and today I want to talk about the difference between, spider webs and, and Anko buoy. I want to decipher a little bit of this. And I want to show you real world condition, real world solution that we have here. And then, because that's the only way you can see and you can get inspired and you can, see something real. Because the example sample file sometimes is good to explain how that works, but it's better to see the thing in the real condition. So that's what I'm going to do. So today we're going to talk about Anko buoy. I know I'm talking about this often during many webinars. I'm talking about relationship, but I'm going to repeat myself a little bit, but sorry for the people that watching us every day, because I know there's people every day watching us, and thank you for that. We appreciate that very much. And But I'm going to go a little bit further, a little bit deeper. I'm going to dive a little bit deeper in this, the Uncle Buoy and stuff like that. So let's have some fun. So let me see here, a typical solution that I built. Okay, so I don't know you guys, but this is a typical solution that I built. So now I want to talk about my customer. I want to talk to my customers. Okay, many of what you pay me, okay, is to organize this. Okay, this is before, right, and this is now. So on the left, right. So keeping something organized like this, you need a strong discipline. Okay, you need a strong discipline in how to organize, keep things organized, right, and keep things always the same, following the same. Build things the same way always. Because if you start building following your mood, okay, you have some stuff like this, right? So you get stuff like this, right? So sometimes, it's spelled, it's spelled in one way, sometimes it's spelled another way. So it's not, and then you have, things like this. It's not consistent, right? And it's complicated to understand. It's complicated. You're going to waste time trying to figure out what this stuff is. Okay, you're going to, trust me. It's better to organize things like this. Okay, so first we know what an occurrence is and stuff like that, right? So what is the philosophy behind the anchor buoy? So first of all, why we call that anchor buoy? Anchor buoy. Anchor buoy. Anchor buoy. So pretty much we put where we have the main data entry. So pretty much the tables is where you have your main data entry. Okay. So if he wants to, I have so many tables here, take some time to load the thing. So data tables, right? And you recognize what was there before and what I built. Why? Because this, I don't build something like this. I don't. This, I don't. This, I don't. This, I don't. Right? This, I don't. Because always I'm naming my table one way. I have 3 characters here, 3 or 4, right? 3 or 4, and sometimes 5, right? But not more than this. And it's exceptional when I do more than 3. Okay. So why we do this, why we use those 3 characters at the beginning of the table name is because here in that layout we don't have any search box. We don't have any search box. Thank you, FileMaker. Thank you, Claris. Thank you, everybody. We don't have search box. I know why we don't have search box, right? And I don't blame them. It's because the technology behind this dialogue is something like 25 years old. No, I'm exaggerating. Let's say it's almost 15 years old. The technology used on this, right? It's a technology back in classic, or back to a lot of time, right? And they don't want to rebuild everything using a new technology. So we don't have a search box. Okay, we don't have a search box in table, or we don't have a search box in field, and we don't have a search box in relationship. It's okay. It's fine. Okay. So since we don't have a search box here, if I want to go to system, I'm typing SYS, yeah, I have the spinning wheel, but okay. If I want to go to asset, I'm going to do AS, If I do AS, I'm going to the first AS that he find. But if I do AST, boom, I am in assets, you know. So now I want to go to the estimate item, ESTI, right? I am in estimate item, right? Or if I want to go to the material, MAT like this, I'm in material import files, okay? So now you got the point why we have this is because we type the three characters, right? And then we can, we can go straight to the table, right? Like this, typing the 2, 3, 4 first characters. But we don't have more than this. We don't have more than this because we have a certain time, we have a timeout to type something, to overtype something like this, right? So, and in this timeout, right? We don't have the time to type more than 3 or 4. Okay. So that being said, the main anchor, the point, the anchor is always pointing to one of those tables, right? So if we go there, we see that we have an anchor for audit log, we have an anchor for staff, we have an anchor for designer, we have an anchor for company, we have an anchor for user, we have an anchor for contact. So all of those points to those main table, right? The table like this, right? But most of them are the occurrence we use for our main data entry layout, right? So if I go there, you can see I have this one here, this one here is pointing to the T14, T11, T15. So here you see I'm pointing to the main, I'm pointing pretty much all the time here to the main anchor, because those are data entry. So if I type here data entry, data entry, so all my data entry are pointing to the main table, to the anchor of the anchor buoy, okay? You don't see any something, right? So you don't see any secondary, you don't see any buoys, okay? Those are the anchor. This is an anchor, and those are the buoys. So here in that layout here, the data entry layout, you don't see any T14A something. No, you don't see that because I'm pointing to my data entry. So always we have layouts pointing to the data entry. The data entry, they point to those anchors, to the anchors, right? So what is the buoys, right? The buoys is when I am in one anchor, let's say I'm in companies, for example, or whatever. When I am in that data entry layouts, right, I will need things from related tables, right? Related tables. But sometimes a related tables could be another table that I'm using for data entry, right? But for example, here, I'm going to the estimate, right? From company, I'm going to estimate, but I have an estimate anchor that start from estimate, and then sometime I'm going back to companies. So here I am in companies, and I need to get information from projects, from estimate, from designs, from leads, from company, right? But when I am in leads, for example, right, I go to companies as well, because in leads I need information from companies, right? But I don't, the spider web is the opposite of this, right? Is that we're going to have one occurrence that points to another one, that points to another one, right? But here, no, in the Anchor buoy, it's not like it works. When I am in companies, when I am in the layout company, or when I am in company, right? This is a world for companies. This is a world. I call that a world. Okay, so that is a world, right? That the company worlds. Everything that I need from companies is starting from here. This is a world. I have this. This is the sun. This is the planets, right? So I have my world for company. I have an entire world for users. And you can see I don't link. I have no way I have link relationship between one world to another. Never, ever I will do this. Because if you do this, you go straight to the spider web. Now this is a spider web. It's no longer an anchor buoy when you link two worlds together. So you say, okay, yes, but Nick, how can I go from estimates to companies if you don't want me to link this to companies? If you don't want me to do something like this, how do I do? I need to go to company, right? I need to do that. And I will say, there's no restriction on this. If you need to go to company from estimate, you build your own connection inside the world. You are in the estimate world and you create the relationship that goes to the company. And from this world, I'm going to value list, designers, companies, material, projects, audit log, So from that world, I build my own connection to another world, but to another entity, right? Like companies, but within that world. That means if I need something from estimate, if I need something from companies, I create my own occurrence that points to the companies and I do whatever I want from that world. But if I need something, for example, from anything, if on estimate, if I need something from users, because here I don't have connection to users. But if I do need a connection to users, right? I don't do that, I don't link the two worlds together. No, I'm going to create a new occurrence that points to users. I'm pointing here, right? And then I say, what do I need here? Okay, I need, for example, do I have something like this here? Okay, I want to link this field with the logged in user, right? I want to link that field to the user table, right? So you link those two, this here and you link here, right? So now I have a link from estimate to users, exactly the same as if I would have done this. Exactly the same if I do this. User to this. Logged in user. It is the same, right? It is the same if I do that. But what's the difference if I do this? Let me show you, okay? First, so let me show you why we don't do that, okay? Here, right? If I create a new layout, try not putting a mess like this because it's from estimate. So I'm going to put a new layout. So let me put myself here. From estimate, right? So I have a layout from estimate. Okay, open, right? I am in estimate, and I want to draw a polar. Now, related to estimate, I have all of this and all of this. I have all of those things, right? So pretty much, I can go to this, for example, or I don't know, to this relationship, right? I can create a relationship like this. I can go there. What the number? M. I can go there. M, from here, right? I can go there from here. So that I have 3 level down, right? I can do that, right? But this is where you start you start being very slow. When you do something like this, it's slow to death. It's not working. It's terrible, right? It doesn't work. It will never work well if you do that. It will be super slow, very slow. So this is why we don't do this, right? I don't want something like this to see all of those relationships, you know, all the relationship connected to users and all the relationship connected to estimate, they are all together. So imagine if you start doing a mess like this, right? Imagine if you do from estimate and I say, oh yeah, but you know, I want to connect, for example, I don't know, do I have a in project? Yeah, I want to connect estimate with the ID estimate. Like this. I want to connect my project to estimate doing that way. So what I'm going to have here now, look the mess. I'm going here and I have all of those relationships, you know. I have all the users, all the estimate, and all the projects. So I have all those relationships carrying on. Okay. So the problem with this, okay, is that first of all, each time you're going to enter the layout pointing to the T16, FileMaker will have to load all the worlds together. You know, all of this. FileMaker will load all of this, you know. And now it's a big mess, you know, to select anything here because you have so many. It's not comfortable to work like this. Okay. So that's why we don't do that. If we don't do that, so we cut this relationship, this nasty relationship. We cut this nasty relationship, right? And here, and how we work is this. I want to go to users. I have my own relationship from estimate to user based on the field I am selecting here. So here I have a link, I have a field in estimate where I have the ID of the active of the logged in user, right? So I have a global, I have a field where at startup, I'm putting there the ID of the user that is logged in, okay? So, and I want to have a relationship with this, right? So I'm building my relationship. So now I have a relationship from the logged in user ID to the user ID of the user table, right? So that means all of this now is available to me, okay? And I rename my stuff. So here, you know, this is where I want to land here for the naming. I'm coming from the world T16. This is my world. The world T16 is the estimate world. And then I have a buoy. And where am I on the buoy? I am on AC. Why? Why AC? Is because I did A to Z, right? And now I'm going to have A to AZ, then B to BZ, and C to CZ, you know? So you have all those, you keep going, right? So now I am on AA, AB, AC, so this one will be AD, okay? Then I put an underscore here and I said, okay, in the name, I want to know from where this relationship is coming. This relationship, this occurrence here, the relationship I have here is the relationship between estimate and user. So I'm saying it's from estimates in small caps underscore. I'm going to users capital because this is pointing to users. So this occurrence is attached to users, is coming from estimate, is attached to users. So I want that in capital letter, right? Then I put here 2 pipes character as a separation. This is the number, right? It's the shortcuts to identify an occurrence. This is from where it's coming. This is from where it's landing. Then I'm saying, okay, what is the field I am using, right? The foreign key I'm using, the foreign key, only the foreign key, not the parents. Because in the relationship, what matters is the foreign key more than the parents. So we put the foreign key name, okay? And in that case, it's ID users, right? And then we end with a pipe. This is now I have a link, right, to their users. So I'm going there. So now I have my nice link, right? So I'm here. But now, look what happened here. Look what happened here. I have only T16 here. That's only what I have. I don't have another world. I don't have, see here, before we had T12, T17. No, I have only the T16. But here, I can go to my users, right? If I want. But let's delete this for a minute. Here, I have my logged in user ID. Logged in user, where is it? Okay, here. My logged in user ID. Okay, so this is what I have. This is my ID. This is the ID of the user that is logged in. Okay. And now, here, because everything clean now, see? That the related tables, everything clean. I can go here and I can select the first name, the last name, the job titles, the main address, location, up. I can drag this. That's coming from the user table, right? That's coming from the user table. Boom. So now, boom, I have all the information from the user table. So I don't need to connect an entire world to another world just because I need information like this, okay? So people will say, yes, but how could I go, for example, to something related to the user? Like, for example, if I go there, right, I want Um, oh, I don't know what we can do. Okay, I want, no, I'm not in the right one, the user. I want, for example, what I can go, where I can go there. Okay, I want, I don't know, all the sign up log. I want all the sign up log of that guy here. Okay, of that guy here. So you have to do two things, but I want that from estimate. So I'm in estimate, and I want the sign up log of that guy. And this is where it starts to be interesting. You have two ways to do this, right? You can go to estimates, go to this, and put a second layer, okay, a second level. So a third level. So you have one level, two level, three level, right? But this is slow. Why? Because here now, if I do this, I'm 3 level down, okay? So that will be slow. We cannot do that. You cannot have this. Pretty much, you cannot do this, okay? So this will be this one, right? So cannot do that. So I am in estimates, right? And I want to draw this here. And I want to go to cannot do that, right? And here I want the account, I want the device, I want the system version, system, okay, whatever. Okay. So this table here, right? It's a log, right? Let's put a timestamp. Okay. So this is a log, okay? So this is a log each time I'm logging, you know? So we are 2 level down, right? So, but why do this? You know, why do this? It's not necessary to do something like this. So what we can do, thanks to the anchor buoy, right? We can do this. Something I want to show you, by the way. Never, when you do something like this, right? Never delete a table, an occurrence. For example, here, right? I want to change this. I want to change this. I don't delete the occurrence. If I delete the occurrence, I'm breaking everything. No. I'm cutting the link. That is not destroying anything. I don't destroy anything when I do this. Okay? And then I move that here. Right? So now I have the ID of the user in that main table in my anchor. Just what I need is to connect that ID. Where is it? Okay, no, here. To the parent, the parent key to the foreign key directly from that table, right? And that this will become T16 AE underscore estimates underscore sign up log double pipe, and is going to IDF from. So this is something I'm going to explain another time. IDF from in my webinar pipe, right? So this now, it is a relationship, it is an occurrence related to the main table. And look what happened. it happened that I get exactly the same results. Exactly the same result. But I am not behind the user. I'm not behind the user table. I am directly linked, related to the main table. So I am on the first level. That's fast. The other was slow, right? This one now is fast. So yes, before I had one relationship related to the estimate, and then I had this one behind, 2 level down or 3 level down. Now it's back to the first level, right? And that is how you build anchor buoy, kind of a world, right? And every time you need a connection to one spot, right? You need, right, to use that technique here. So if we have question, we take the question right now.
We do have a question. Why does assets have a front indicator of AST versus? Oh, are you making a joke, Ken? I've actually read your question for the complete. Okay, never mind. Well, that's not a question. I actually sat there and processed what you'd said. Never mind. Layout question from David. Layout should have the same number of the table TO. So
No,
T14
yes and no.
and
Yes,
L14.
normally I do. Okay, normally I do, but it's hard to do that. Okay, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Ideally, it would be awesome. Ideally, yeah, awesome. Because ideally it's awesome. That I mean you have the T16 and then the world T16 is the estimate, and then you go to the estimate here, and you have L16, and it can be L16A, L16B, or stuff. Ideally, it could be nice. It could be nice, but I prefer to do something like this. The hundreds, the 200, I don't know where they are, the 400, the 500, the 600, right? So it's my preference, but ideally, yes, you're right. It should be like this, right? That you have the T16 and the L16 and everything 16 related to that would be awesome. Unfortunately, sometimes I don't follow this. Sometimes I prefer to go to the 100, 200, 300. So, and sometimes I'm going to what's the name? Because it's I'll tell you why I'm doing this. Is because I'm recycling a lot of things, right? Because I build everything the same. So sometimes I'm taking an entire world from one file to another file. I'm doing kind of a transplant, and I'm renaming everything the same. You understand why? It's because then you have your script, you copy paste script, and everything works because you have exactly the same name. So when you do a lot of recycling like this, that's why, for example, in all my solution, the system table is T106. All my development is T106 because the first time I built something like this, like 10 years ago, I built the system was the T106. So the name you can use, you can have freedom here, but you need to be consistent. Like this T10, everything is T10. T11, everything is T11. But it doesn't have to be. Sometimes I'm using 100 like this and 200 sometime. Is because I want to separate things, right? So it's you have freedom, but but when you do something like this, everything is T114. Everything should be 200, 215 and stuff like that. So, you need to be consistent in the same world. In the same world, you need to be consistent. The same for the layouts, right? Be consistent, 500, and here you have where I have a lot of cards, for example, like 400, and here 400, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? When one is missing, is because I delete one. I create one and I delete it. So, and I don't want to, the 2 is missing. It's because I create one and I delete it. So, and I don't want to rename all the things, right? So it's, but you need to be consistent in the numbering, in the same world, right? In the same world, you need to be consistent. How I can close everything? We cannot? Okay. So in the same world, you need to be consistent, right? So in contacts, you have the consistency. In the estimate, you have consistency. And project, you have consistency. So it needs to be, well organized that way. Do we have another question? I bet not. Much?
I promptly remuted myself to speak to you. Amazing. To avoid the too deep TO, did you have to create a new foreign key in one of the tables?
Exactly. So this is where I want to land. Okay. Look, for example, in estimate, I'm carrying on everything, I have company, contact, designer, project, status, version. I have all those foreign keys. The biggest is projects. I have user, staff, manager, foreman, estimate version, estimate, designer, contact, company, categories, right? I have all the IDs, and I'm carrying on all the IDs from, when I'm in projects, I need to make sure, because an estimate is connected to a project, right? An estimate is connected to a project. So, I can have many estimates per project, right? But I can have many estimates per project. So I can have many IDs in the same, connected. But in my system, I have only one final estimate connected to projects, right? So that's why I'm interested in the final estimate connected to the project. I don't need all of them, right? So it's okay. It depends on what you do, but yes, you need to carry on all the foreign keys, right, from one world to another world, right, to make sure that you have. So, for example, if we go to, I don't know, contacts, for example, or not contacts or project, what do we have? Estimate item. Look at this. The version of the version of the estimate I'm in. The type, the subcategory, the subsection, original, or that the override recovery, the material, the estimate. So I have all the ID I need, right? All of this is for the items, right? It's for the estimate item. In estimate, I have all of those. I have the company, the contact, the designer, but in the estimate version, right? So it depends on what you want to connect the thing, but always, right? You need to get all the IDs in the main table, in order to connect all the worlds, right? Because if you don't, so you said, oh, I need to go, imagine, okay, that I need to go from projects, right? From projects, right? Here from projects, I'm going to estimate version directly. For example, here is directly. and I'm linking two keys. I'm linking the estimate version ID and the estimate ID. I have two keys, right? Connected to the version, to the estimate version. But no, estimate version is below the estimate. So imagine that you have something nasty like this, projects, right? Projects connected to estimate, version, estimate version. Okay. And then to estimate items because they are below like this. And imagine that you have something like this, projects, and then estimates, estimate here, do a version to version, and then version. I have an estimate version here, estimate category, a version. Okay. So imagine that you have something like this. And then you want to go, right? From here, you want to question this, right? So how nasty it is, right? You don't want to do something like this, right? So it will be very, very nasty. Okay. I don't need to do that. If I want from projects, if I want to get there, I don't need to do that. I don't need the problem. So I just do this. I'm looking if I have something like this, but no, because I have no. But imagine that I do need. Okay. I'm going to project to estimate items, right? And here I need two IDs. The main ID is ID F estimate. Okay. And I have many. I have two. So this tilde, I don't know how we call that in English, or this character, I don't remember. So the tilde, how we call that character in English, please? So this character, I'm using it to symbolize that in that T17K from project to estimate items, using as a primary key, as a main key, as the first key, I'm using this, right? Estimate items, right? I'm using this, so I'm using estimates. I think it's okay, I have the version first, estimate version. And where's the estimates? Yeah, I think I have yeah. So this was because I took over this project. It was an old project, so the estimate name is still the old one. I didn't rename it, okay, on the estimate item. So I need those two, I need those two. And now, if I go here and I build a new layout from T17, so why is the T17? I'm here, and I want to go to T17. So you can browse like this, or you can do this. Boom. You type over. Boom. If I want 16, T16. T02, T02. Oops. T02. Okay. Oh, I don't have T02. No, T106. I want to go to system, for example. T106. See? I want to go, I don't know, T15. Boom. Right? So you type over with the T, like this. So I want to go to T17. Right? And I want to draw, and the same here. I want the T17 AK. Boom. Right? Directly. So I want this. So I'm in my estimates, right? And I don't want description, for example, and the cost. Do I have labor? I don't know. Quantity. Okay. Right? Put the little here. Boom. They're all there. So I think I put the right no, it's not this. It's not description. It's something else. Item name, something like this. Yeah. So I have all the estimate item of the one that's related to the project, right? So and all of this. So I'm there, T17. So by the way, the same here. When you type T17, boom, you're there. So here instead of doing this, boom, 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 right? What you will have, you need to do that if you want to go from project to go to estimate version, and then to go to the estimate here, because I'm using two predicate like this, right? So I say, yes, I want that estimate, yes, but for that version. But my system, I know, right? So how I'm doing this? So how I can send to my projects, right? How I can send to my project this? Yes, it's because when I am saying, I need to clean them the mess, because this is a real stuff. When I am in estimate, so you see how the navigation is cool when you're well organized. See, so you go projects, boom, estimate, boom, contact, boom. So when I'm in estimates, and let's take this one, okay. When I have an estimate here, right? And I'm opening this version of the estimate. And yeah, you have a lot of things, right? When I say make this final, so that means I'm going to get out of that estimate, I'm going to create a project, okay? So when you do this, right, I am going to inform at one point, I don't know where, I'm going to inform the project that I'm, yes, it's this one here. So I'm going to inform the project that I am coming from that version of that estimate. So I'm carry on those IDs, and where I'm doing this in the parameters. So when I do say hello, okay. When I do say make here, I'm sending a bunch of stuff in my parameters, right? The estimate ID where I'm in, the estimate version where I'm in, right? What's the name? If I don't have contacts, I want this. Otherwise, I want the ID of the contact. If I don't have designers, I put this. Otherwise, I want this. Okay, and the logged in user ID, the guy who is logged in. The guy who is logged in, and I'm putting that in a nice list like this, right? Tuck 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 tuck. So I have the estimate ID, the version ID, the contact ID, the designer ID, and the user ID. I need all of this. All of this. Why is big? So I'm carrying on all of this. I'm putting that in my script that goes to the project table and creates the projects. And then you know what's going on. I'm going there, right? And I'm setting all of those things. Designer, estimate, version, user, all of this is going to come from my list I just created. So I'm moving on everything from one table to another. Only the ID. I don't need more. I don't need anything else. Just the IDs. And then I can do whatever I want. And all the time I'm doing this, I'm doing for all the things I need to connect together. They're all, and then you can slice everything. You slice everything in pieces, right? Because you have IDs, so it's okay. You have all the ID you need, right? So, do we have any question?
You don't have questions on YouTube or Twitch, but we do have one on is the estimate version ID in project table the latest one, or is it a list of all the versions? How do you separate the different?
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't need the list of the version. Oh, I just demonstrated. When I am in the what's the name? When I am in the estimate, but I want to make final. Let's say this one I want to make it final, right? This one will become a project. This is an estimate. It's final. Everything. All what I want, the customer said, go. I press that button. Make final. Okay, make final. Right? And then here, I have in my parameters all the IDs that I just saw. And those IDs will be carried on by the scripts number 3599. Why is doing this? Oh, here. 3599. And you can see here that I'm taking from the parameters the estimate ID, the version ID, the contact ID, the designer ID, and the user ID. So all of those things, and then when I go, so that happened on server. So I go to the layout project, create a new record. I'm setting a variable because now I need the ID of that project, right? So I come from estimate. The script on server said, okay, I have all the IDs I need, but the ID of the new project, I don't have it yet because I didn't create it. So I go to the layout project, I create a new record, and then it will generate a new ID for the project. So now I have the current project ID. So now I have estimate, the version, contact, designer, and I have the user ID. And then I go on. So I am in my layout, my project layout, and I set the contact ID. I set the designer ID. I set the estimate ID. I set this one. I set this one. And then I said, I'm okay. Then I go to estimate, right? I go to estimate and I say, oh, by the way, I just created a project for you, right? From you, I created a project. So I come back to you to tell you that that's the ID of the project I just created. So now those two are related. I mean, I have the estimate ID in project now, but now I have the project ID in estimate. And then I go to the section, estimate section, and I do a replacement to say, hey, all of those estimates based on the current estimate and the current version, those are final. Status final is final. Okay. I go to the estimate item here, right? And I want now to do plenty of stuff. But you see, all is based on those freaking IDs, right? Everything, I have the ID on estimate item, on section, I have the ID on it. So I can go and pick it and pick up, right? So I can do that multiple times. So you see here what I'm doing, right? So I'm going to the estimate, I search for the labor, right? I export from estimate and I import into project. Then I go back to estimate and I look for equipment. So I export all the estimate equipment from estimate and I import everything in project equipment, project labor, project, and I do that on for the subcontractor and on for the material and on for everything, right? And at the end, I do okay, everything done, right? And now, what did my script does? Absolutely nothing. I'm connecting IDs together. That's all what I'm doing here. Okay. So yes, the goal here is to have an anchor buoy system, is to have carry on all the IDs, but that's easy. Collect all the IDs, go to have a P source, go to the other table and set a bunch of fields. That's it. And you connected everything. If you try to avoid to do this, you go back to the spider web and sayonara, bye-bye, goodbye, Broadway. You screwed, totally screwed. Because this is why everything is so interconnected. It's so interconnected because I can connect everything with everything because I have the IDs of everything everywhere. So it's good, I know the designer. So now, for example, what's the difficulty for me, okay, to go to the designer table, right? Designer is staff. To go to the designer table and got all the project of one designer, So here, it's easy. I have the ID designer in the project table. So I have all the project, all the lead, all the estimate. I have everything because I have the ID of everybody. So something like this, from designer, I want the leads. Normally you should, you go to contact and then you go to leads and then because leads are connected to contacts, right? But no, it's designer to leads directly, straightforward, So T10, boom, designer to leads, boom. By what? The ID designer. That's it. Bye-bye. Go home. Because in the designer table, because in the project table, the lead table, I have the designer ID. So it's easy. So, and the same for estimate. Oh, this designer, okay, yeah, because on estimate table, I have the foreign key for the designer. So no problem, So everything connected to everything. The designer connected to project, estimate, leads, companies. And the companies, I have the project, estimate, design, leads, because I have the idea of the company. When I select a contact and the contact is from this company, right? So if I go to companies, I have two. I have this one. Yeah, this is the old one. So this is the old one. You can see that old one. I have my own here. So this is better. So here, right? So in the company here, no, it's in the leads, the leads. I have the contact ID, the company ID, the designer ID, the user ID. I have all the IDs, right? and sometimes they come from what's the name, a global like this, because because that I'm going to explain in another webinar, because it's already 11. We passed 11. So questions?
Nothing on YouTube or Twitch, and nothing on Discord. So
okay, yeah. So so that means said, the last thing I want to show before we go. Okay, so organization on the anchor buoy is crucial, because next week we are going to talk about cross-reference table. We are going to talk about how relookup is working together. We are going to talk about the auto entry calculation, how I can trigger. Okay, how I can trigger an auto entry calculation from here to here without any connection. Right? So that's what we are going to learn, right? Or the relookup, how I want, when I change something like this, I want something here to change. How I can do that if I don't have any connection? If I don't, I want something to change here when I'm here. If I don't have a link to there, how I can do that? I'm going to show you. The next week will be all about this, right? So, but before we go, I want to show you how comfortable it is to work with this number system, right? I already demonstrated, but I can, let's say I want T16, boom. I have all the T16 world, that is not from me. That is from the old stuff. But, I have all the T16, all the T17, I have all the world, right? All the world is there. T18, all the world, right? So, and what's going on here, right? They come to asset, they go to navigation. They go to asset, they go to asset history. By the asset, by the foreign key assets. This is by the foreign key assets. This is by the foreign key users, right? This is by the foreign key, the parent key ID vendor. This is for the foreign key ID product. So, see, it's by the name, what the thing do. I don't care. No, what the thing are. We don't care about what they do. What we care is what they are, because we can use them to do many things when what they are. It's a hammer. Okay, you can plant a nail or kill somebody, but it's a hammer, right? But you can do both with the same tool. So that's the same thing here. Sometimes I'm using the same relationship to go somewhere, or to trigger an auto entry calculation, or to relook up something. I use the same relationship because I know what the relationship is. The relationship is from there to there by that, right? So that's what that's what we want, and then you go, I'm going to use that to trigger something, or to go to the record, or take the list of values, right? Whatever you want to do. Okay. So that being said, no question. That means we can go home. I need to clean up this mess I put there.
I think we are good.
Yeah, T16. It was on T16, right? The mess. This one too. These two. Boom. Remove and the mess here. Up, clean, boom. So have a great weekend there, guys, and we talk together Monday.
Tuesday.
It's Monday, right? The next one, Monday? No, Monday or
no? It's Tuesday.
Tuesday. Okay. So I have 3 days off.
You do. Then you only got 3 days next week, and then you have a week off. So
a week off. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming. We will see you soon. Bye.
Got a report of an individual up here who may be a FileMaker license. Well, it's potentially expired. Look at the back of that car right there. Looks like the FileMaker license has expired. Sir, I need you to step out of the vehicle. Sir, step out of the vehicle. Sir.